morning, boys and girls. I just want to tell you how exciting it's going to be today. We're going to be reading a new book, and it's called Mr. Sanchez and the Kickball Champ. And it was written by Laura Appleton Smith, and it was illustrated by Kenya White. But before we start the book, I want to have a little chat so we can see what we know about kickball, because it's about the kickball champ. So what I'm going to do is take out our KWL chart so we can find out what you know about kickball and what you want to know about kickball. And then after we're done reading the book, we'll see if we learned the answers to any of those questions that you had, okay? All right. Who can tell me something about kickball? Do you know anything about kickball? Yes.
Where they throw the ball and then they throw the ball till you try to kick it.
Okay, so you're telling me they throw a ball and try to kick it. Great. Anybody else know anything about kickball? Have you ever played kickball before?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and tell me.
There's this huge big ball. It was
Okay.
like a big purple.
So can I write down that the ball is huge? Okay, a huge ball. Go ahead.
It was really easy to kick. It was really bouncy and
Okay. So the ball is easy to kick because it's big and bouncy? So it's easy to kick? Emily, did you ever play kickball?
no.
Do you know anything about kickball?
No.
Okay. How about you, George? Do you know anything about kickball?
No.
And so you know what? This is going to be great. We're going to probably learn a lot about kickball then. What would you like to know about kickball? Well, you know what? Hold on to what you want to know. Let me ask the rest of the children if they can tell us what they want to know, since you haven't ever played it before. What would you like to know about kickball? Would you like to know if you wear a uniform, like a baseball uniform when you play
Yes.
kickball? So what should I write down?
And no.
I'm going to write, I think I'm going to phrase that for you. Do you need a uniform? Any other, did you have a question, Jackie? What you might like to know?
How it got invented?
How was kickball invented? Any other questions about what you might want to know? I would like to know if you have to have any special things for your hands, like in baseball. In baseball, you know how sometimes you have to wear something?
Yeah. Gloves and stuff.
It's called a mitt.
A mitt, okay. So is there a mitt in kickball? All right.
Yes.
Now the other thing I want to talk about, if you look at the cover of my book, I would like to know if you've ever been outside playing with other children and maybe you weren't the person that they picked to be on the team. Have you ever had that type of experience?
No.
No? Well, you are lucky. Have you ever been someplace where other people didn't invite you to play or somebody didn't ask you to a party? Has that ever happened to you?
No.
No.
No? How about you, George?
No.
No. Okay. Well, just imagine, you're lucky children. Just imagine how one of your friends or you would feel if you were going to go outside and play a game and there were two teams and there were team captains. And one captain picks first and says, I want Emily on my team. So Emily goes over near that captain. And the next captain says, I want George on my team. And George goes over on that side. And they go back and forth and they pick all the children. And then, Jackie, you're the only one left. And they didn't pick you. How do you guys think Jackie would feel?
Sad.
She would feel sad. So let's think about what we know about when you're left out. So if you're left out, you're telling me you would feel sad?
Yes.
Okay.
And I would feel mad.
And you would also feel mad. Is that
Same with
different?
me.
Is mad different from sad?
Yes.
How?
Very different.
It's very different. How is it?
Because
Sad's like you feel like depression and stuff.
When do you feel
Man,
depression?
like-
Depression is when you're sad. You're feeling depression. And George, what were you going to tell me about feeling mad?
this is mad.
That's mad. So that's like you feel a lot of like strange, ugly feelings inside when you're mad. You made a very ugly face. Well,
This is gonna be ugly.
suppose, I want you to think about this. Suppose you were the captain. You were the captain picking the team members. Suppose you saw somebody that you didn't know very well. Do you think that you would want to pick that person?
Yeah.
Or do you think you would want to pick somebody that you didn't know?
Didn't know.
Doesn't know.
And why would you want to pick somebody that you didn't know?
To make friends.
To make friends? Okay. I think that's a great idea. Could you judge, could you tell whether that person would be a good kickball player if you were picking for kickball teams?
Yes, you could.
How could you tell?
Well, some people look like they can, they play kickball a lot.
You think so? Okay. So Jackie thinks that some people look like they might be good kickball players or good athletes. I think we're going to learn. I want to know if you can judge, meaning if you can tell, if you can judge what somebody is good at or what they're like just by looking at them. That we're going to be talking about after this book when we see if we learned any of the things that we thought might be true. Here's another question I have for you. I want everybody to pretend, especially you, George, I want you to pretend that you are an author like Laura Appleton Smith. And you're going to write this book called Mr. Sanchez and the Kickball Champ. Can you tell me what words you would use if you were writing the story?
Ball.
Ball.
Kickball.
Kickball. Thank you, George.
Champ.
Champ. Yeah.
Kids.
Kids.
Fun.
Fun.
It was fun.
It was fun. You might write a whole sentence, correct? We're looking for vocabulary words, so just give me single words, one word. Did you have your hand up again, Jackie?
I forgot what I was about to say.
Okay. I'm thinking that maybe even Mr. Sanchez looks a little worried or surprised, and I have a word that I might use if I was the author. I might use the word fret, because that's a cool word, and it means worry. And maybe that would be a word that I would use. Any other words before we move on that you might predict would be in the book?
Sad, like if you left somebody out, you might say that.
Sad. If it's a story about being left out, the word sad might be in there.